On the boulevard of broken dreams.
The range he shows here with this throat bass.
On the boulevard of broken dreams.
Yeah, and then comes the first drop and it has so much soul. Codfish wanted to sound as natural as possible. Yeah, I know his taste because I also was mixing some pieces for him. Yo, what's up, my current feature Beatbox? Welcome back to another analysis video, which is by Madox, aka
Man of Culture.
Today I'm gonna analyze the Greenday cover of Codfish, Boulevard of Broken Dreams. I'm not only going to check out his performance, but I'm also gonna check out the mix of the song, since I'm also a mixing engineer. As always, I'm going to check out the comments, but first, subscribe to my channel. You done? Let's go! Let's read some comments! When my ex tries to patch up with me,
I walk alone.
At Madox, please give me a man of culture from India. Of course, bro. Man of culture. Wait, you from India? Do you understand Hindi? If so, Sanskritika at me. Bro, all I have to say is sheesh. This part give me goosebumps. Which part? Oh, maybe he means the whole video. Tricky one. Man of culture. Here's a joke for you, Madox. SBX, Madox, why did you leave us? Madox?
I walk alone.
Oh shit. Yeah, I'm walking alone all by myself now on this channel. Man of culture. But I still love Swiss Beatbox. I walk a lonely road, the only road where... Ah, that's the lyrics. Yes, finally I just can read them. I don't need to listen closely. Gabrielius Putra, man of culture. Or maybe it's Spanish, hombre de cultura. Joke for Madox, 02. What did teachers say?
Walk a lonely road, the only road that I have ever known.
053. What comes in the test?
Time. Wish on the thing on me.
Yeah, man, it's hard, right? It's cool, you just learn like singing, and then the teacher in the test be like, the beat and the chorus
At the same time.
and you be like,
What? We only learned singing yet.
man of culture. Madox is finally analyzing this. By the way, Madox, can you say down cultura again? It fits you for some reason. Really? It fits me? Thank you, my bro. Down cultura. Hey, Madox, start analyzing fast.
Okay, let's get into the video.
Oh, and by the way, because I also want to focus on the mix, gonna wear some headphones today.
I walk a lonely road, the only road that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's only me and I walk alone. I walk alone and I walk up. My shadow haunts on the walls beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating time. Wish on the thing on me. Until then I walk alone.
The accent.
Hey, I walk alone and I walk up. I walk this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams. Where the city sleeps and I'm the only one and I walk. I walk alone and I walk alone.
Woo! Wow. I mean, I did listen to it a million times already, so there was no super surprising parts for me because I know it already. But still, it gives me so much chills listening to this. It's insane, man. His throat bass has like this perfect distortion where it's not nerve-wracking. It has this warmth, but at the same time, it still have enough drive, good low end. Really nice. So before I keep going with my fanboying too much, let's get into the details. By the way, before we gonna start analyzing, did you see that this microphone says no kick? Guess he was misusing the microphone. Probably they mean like don't use it for like drum kicks, but it doesn't say don't use it for a human kick. So Codfish be like, just take it. Don't worry, man. He was breaking the only rule for this microphone. Don't use this microphone for kicks. Let's get serious.
I walk a lonely road, the only road that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's only me and I walk
Man,
alone.
the beginning is already so catchy, man. I walk a lonely road, the only road that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes. It's funny, like when he sings goes, sounds,
Don't know where it
don't know. Is this the Aussie accent? I'm not really good with accents. I'm not even a native speaker. Probably you realized that already. I'm not a native speaker. I'm a German dude. And I have a hard time to recognize accents and tell which accent is from which country. His accent doesn't sound American to me. So I just assume it's an Austrian accent, but I'm not sure. I also saw in the comments that some would say it's a British accent, but that would be weird since he's from Australia. Why would he have an British accent? Maybe on purpose, but I don't think so. So let me know in the comments if you know what kind of accent this is. Maybe it's a special Australian accent from a specific region. I don't know. Anyways, he starts with the vocal part and it's already really impressive. Like his main voice sounds really nice, his chest voice. And then the throat bass, so full, man. I walk a lonely road, the only road that I have ever known. Also his pitch control over the throat bass. I have ever known. I was actually trying to get on this quality of Codfish. I'm really far from it yet, but what I think is the difference between his throat bass and regular throat bass is that most people are just doing it in the throat. He's not only using his mouth, but also his nose. So there's some vibrations going on somewhere here. I'm not really good with anatomy and stuff. Maybe if you would ask a singer or a singing teacher, he would exactly know how to explain this. But if you sing, you can actually either just sing with your mouth, then your voice would sound like this, and then you would need to try to still sound as clean as possible. Or you actually also use your nose. If you use too much of your nose, you will sound like this. But then if you find the perfect balance in between, you get a really full sound. And the same goes not only for singing, but also for the throat bass. If you try to transport your throat bass a little bit more up to your nose, while it's open, of course, so you both use your mouth and your nose, you kind of will get the sound of Codfish. It's vibrating in your throat, but then also you will get a little bit of a vibration in your nose, and this will give your voice some extra harmonies. It's not really a vibration bass. For example, if you do a vibration bass, you actually add a subharmonic that you really can hear. But when I say harmonies, it's just like it has a little bit more distortion to it. And this distortion makes the throat bass so full, and in his case, so unique. But it's only me and I walk alone. Yeah. Yeah, and then comes the first drop, and it has so much soul. Like his voice, his nasal voice, man. I think he's really trying to force to create some vibration in his nose so he gets the overtones even in his normal chest voice. So it's not just a normal humming, but he's really trying to force the sound to vibrate also here in this section of his face. I walk alone. Yeah, so it's a thing. It's just a chest voice. The voice, with your voice vibrating in this area, you will get these high frequencies in the voice, these harmonics. That's why his voice sounds so pleasing and so full, even though he's not even opening his mouth while he's singing. It's just the nasal sound. Whatever, you know what I mean. I remember IGBB when he did this first. It was insane. Talking about quality, what I'm not a big fan of is that sometimes he does a kick without air. So it's and then he does the instead of the. I'm not sure why, probably just to save air. And then he does this kick. Not the. Just for consistency, if I would be him or if I would produce the song for him, I probably would try to recommend him to always keep the same kick, to have a consistency inside of there. Also, this kick has more sub instead of this one. If you would listen to this on a big sound system, it would miss some punch at this place. But maybe it was also a style choice. Yeah, because it's like every time with the throat bass, he does the full kick. And then after the humming part, he just does this filtered kick. I don't even know if this kick has a name, but it's like the kick without the subs. Okay, whatever. Also, one thing, if you, depending on a sound engineer or if you're engineering by yourself, some sound engineers, for example, on some tracks, like for example, Blast That Sub, what I did was I tried to make every sample sound the best way possible. So sometimes if the kick was too weak or not loud enough, I would just take one kick out of the whole track and then replace it with the weak ones so it sounds consistent. If you would mix a song like this, probably you would replace these kicks. But since Codfish wanted to sound as natural as possible, I guess he wanted to sound as natural as possible. And yeah, I know his taste because I also was mixing some pieces for him. Not this particular one, but maybe you know these videos with the Counter-Strike sequences and stuff. Yeah, I was mixing one of these, and I know in particular that he really wants to stay authentic. He doesn't want a mixing engineer to mix different samples in a different way, maybe just do some automations, but in general he wants to keep like the nature of the beatbox, that it doesn't sound perfect all the time and has his imperfections, but that's why it sounds so organic. And I think especially if you're such a good beatboxer and your execution is on a really high level and your balance and your mix itself already sounds great, you don't actually need that much. You can just apply EQ, saturation, compression to the whole track, but without separating the single sounds. And also the genre, because this is like more of a pop song, it's not really necessary that it sounds really heavy. For example, if you would take a house beat, as I already mentioned, Blast That Sub, where the kick needs to be really punchy and you want every sound to be really in your face. In a genre like this, it actually can be really helpful to mix every single sample.
Walk alone and I walk up. My shadow haunts on the walls beside me.
After the first chorus, he gets into the second verse, and I think I recognize a mistake here. I'm not sure if that was on purpose, but he changed the lyrics, and I'm not quite sure what he says here. Yeah, so in the original song, the lyrics are, and by the way, shout out to Gabrielius Putra for the lyrics. My shadow's the only one that walks besides me. But what Codfish says is, or Codfish sings is,
my shadow haunts on the walls beside me.
My shadow haunts the only walks beside me. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of sounds familiar. Maybe it was hard to execute it with throat bass. My shadow's only one that walks beside me. When I would try it, I probably would just cancel out the, but for the rest, it's fine. My shadow, only one that walks beside me. Yeah, I think he just didn't remember it quite. But it's in the studio, so he probably did multiple takes and was practicing for weeks. So not sure, maybe he tried to do different lyrics, but I don't understand what he actually is singing there. If you know that, please let me know in the comments. Is this just a mistake, or did he actually reinterpret the lyrics?
My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating.
Then the second line, my shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. It's quite clean performed and you pretty much can understand the lyrics, especially if you know the original ones. I am the worst with understanding the lyrics and I understand it here, so guess it's pretty fine. Then on the third line, he decided to drop the beat with the lyrics.
Time, wish, on the thing, on me.
And then it starts to get hard to understand, but I think at this part it doesn't really matter that much. And of course, it's nearly impossible to do the beat and the lyrics at the same time. And still make it understandable. So the way he does it is... Sometimes wow. Sometimes wish someone would down on me. Someone like that, yeah. It's so hard to make proper decisions. Sometimes, especially when you write your lyrics by yourself, you can place like a B or a P on places where you do a kick. Or the same goes for like, I don't know, with a PF snare, maybe if there's a F or something, then it's easier to make the lyrics understandable. But in this case, since it's a cover, the original songwriter didn't think about stuff like that. But here I would say creative freedom, do whatever you want. It sounds really dope. So it's not a big deal that you can't really understand the lyrics in this part. And obviously it's a cover, so most of the people who listen to the song probably already know the original lyrics.
Until then I walk alone.
Till then I walk alone. Alone. This note, man.
I walk alone.
Alone. This vowel, like I think an American singer wouldn't sing alone. He would sing alone, something like that. That's probably also his accent, but to be honest, I really like it. It gives him character. It represents where he's coming from, at least if you are familiar with the accent. I'm not really good with accents, so if I wouldn't know that Codfish is from Australia, I probably wouldn't recognize where he's coming from, but I would recognize that it's not an American accent. Then after this part, he comes to a short pre-chorus, and what I really love here is his control over his throat bass and how he can switch between the throat bass and the chest voice. Especially at one little part, you can hear a little crack when he's transitioning from the throat bass to the voice. And to be honest, I'm a big fan of this technique. I always try to get it in the same way because it's just so exciting to hear this crack. Yeah, I'm not really using it for singing. Most of the times I just do melodies with it. So I'm not really good with this particular part. Yeah, so if you compare Codfish to me right now, I'm practicing it for a long time now already. I still don't have the quality, and this maybe can show you how crazy this is actually. Such a good quality, man. So because this is a really slow beat, he doesn't have that many cracks. I heard some songs or performances where he used this technique, and there he had these cracks, and yeah, like I said, really love it. Especially when he goes fast like this. I think it's like this Peter Pan routine where he switches in between really fast and has these cracks in between. I almost don't have these cracks anymore, but I always try to get them back.
I walk alone and I walk up.
Then he comes to the second drop, and in the second drop he adds some elements to it. It's not too much if you would rate it like a beatbox battle routine, but for the song I think it fits pretty well. Wow, I can't. Yeah, damn. So good, man. On this routine, I really love that he's just focusing on the quality. It's not about flexing. It's not about destroying your opponent, winning a wild card for world champs, whatever. It's just focusing on the music and boom. I love it. We need more beatboxers doing stuff like that. There's not a lot of beatboxers who just focusing on how it sounds. I would say Codfish is one of these. Shogo. Then we have Gene. But then the rest is more of a battle beatboxer. D-Lo has sometimes these moments, but most of the times he's more focusing on doing complex patterns and fast patterns or really complex sounds, which are really cool and I really love it. But then it's not about focusing on making beautiful music, if you know what I mean. So really dope approach here of Codfish and he really nails it. At the end of this part, in particular, when he comes back to the nasal sound, he has this one note and it directly hits my soul when he does it. I don't know why, but there's some frequencies in this nasal voice. It triggers my brain, you know. It's like tickling it and calming. Then he comes into the last verse or outro.
I walk this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams.
And oh man, the range he shows here with this throat bass.
On the boulevard of broken dreams.
Wow, it's so hard already to execute a really clean throat bass, to have all these overtones, but then also he has a really nice range in his throat bass. And still the upper notes, like most beatboxers, when they go up with their throat bass, they either have too much distortion in it, it sounds way too forced, there's not enough airflow, and yeah, it just doesn't sound pleasing to your ears. But when Codfish does it, he's executing it pretty well. Really dope.
On the boulevard of broken dreams.
Oh man, such an inspiration. So good. Sounds so dope.
Where the city sleeps and I'm the only one and I walk.
Oh man, and then he comes to the last drop, man, and it's pretty much the same pattern like in the first drop, but it's a way different energy. He's going fully in. He was building up energy before this drop, and that's why this drop feels way more emotional. It's crazy. It's such a good composition technique, man. Really love it. I think he has one additional snare, but that's it.
I walk upon a blah blah.
He also adds the hi-hat now. Yeah, man. Actually, if you guys don't know how to do this hi-hat, it's not a normal hi-hat. It's just with your tongue on your teeth. It's kind of like when you do. It's just building pressure against your teeth. And while you're doing this hi-hat, that's the big advantage of this hi-hat is that you still can hum while you do it. And that's why it sounds so clean here.
Yeah, damn.
And then he goes fully in, man, bringing all his energy inside. And I really love this. Like the energy curve of this track is really dope. Like he starts really slow, building it up. The first drop is still really easy. Then the second drop has a little bit more energy. And then after this last verse, he goes fully in, and he doesn't need a lot of sounds to deliver the energy. It's just the pressure and the power that he gives in, and also the structure that lets you feel the last drop that much. so emotional, man. So I would say this is a really, composition-wise, it's a masterpiece. Even though it's just a cover, it's really well structured, and that's why I love it. He pretty much recomposed the whole thing. It's just of course, it's still the same lyrics and the same chords like in the original song. But for the rest, I mean, the original song isn't a beatbox track. So he still had to be really creative and have the knowledge how to translate a pop song into a beatbox track. And in my opinion, he was translating it in a really, really sick way. And as you can see, it has... And as you obviously can see, it has over 27 million views already on YouTube. He uploaded 2 years ago, and I'm pretty sure it will reach 30 million really soon, maybe even more, because it's just such a great example of how to execute beatboxing in a really beautiful way. Also, what I really love about the production quality, there's no special effects inside. He didn't use any reverb. I think it's just a dry room here. For some people it might be too dry. If it would be me, I probably would add a little bit of reverb on the singing parts maybe, but then sometimes it can sound way too artificial, and I think his main aim was to sound as natural as possible, and I think he achieved this goal. It sounds really natural, the sound is really clean, it's still really powerful, it has some really nice low end, some really present mids, and also a lot of presence in the highs without being too harsh. For example, sometimes on hi-hats or some high-pitched sounds, you can get this harshness. For example, also with vocalists, when they sing and they have a really harsh S. There's actually an effect that is called the esser, which is a compressor that just cancels out certain frequencies or pushes them down, so that when the S sounds are hitting a certain level, then they would be pushed down so they don't sound as harsh anymore. But anyways, the mix is really clean and I really love it. It's just pleasing to listen to.
Alright, that's it for this video. Quick and easy. If you enjoy my content, please like the video, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon.